Keith stopped looking so yellow. More butter?
Thanks.
But that's not the only reason he looks so serious. No one believed him or the farmer who found the stone. Magnus was accused of being a liar and even lost a job over it. After that, he became a bit of a nomad, earning money by trying his hand at various odd jobs and schemes. I'm happy to report that he did eventually settle down after he met Farmor. One day, yes, I don't mind saying it, one day I intend to prove that he told the truth, that the stone was carved in 1362 by Vikings. Most people have never heard of the Runestone. I intend to change that.
Quinn moved in 5 months later, and a couple of years down the road, we were married on a San Diego beach at sunrise. Fast forward 6 or so years to a Friday morning. I was now working as assistant to the Dean of Sciences at St. Sunniva University. My small office was 2 buildings over from the balloon-roofed Time Travel Engineering, TTE, building, where our historical researchers stepped into a maze of mirrors and lasers to hop into the past and return with invaluable photos and notes. The plants on the lone windowsill of my office had just gotten their weekly watering from Oscar, the security guard from the TTE building. I appreciated the interest he took in my plants, and I'm sure they did too, given my notorious black thumb. The door had just closed behind him when it opened again with a peppy knock. I thought Oscar might have forgotten his watering can and automatically glanced around for it, but it wasn't his wiry figure standing in the doorway. It was Quinn. We hadn't seen each other in what was, for him, a calendar year, and a bit less for me, given the time skip that had occurred on the way back from my one and only run into the past, a stumble into ancient Pompeii. He was sporting a tan, an expensive haircut, and a large yellow umbrella with frogs on it. The umbrella was still dripping from the September rain tapping out a beat on my window. He threw a look around my office and said, "So, Jules, where do you keep it? The time machine?" As if he expected to see it nestled in a corner nook. I set aside the incoming student orientation booklet I'd been working on while chatting with Oscar. I knew why Quinn had come back to town, and I was not happy to see him. "It's out of the question, Quinn. You can't just waltz into the TTE lab and expect to go on a run into the 14th century. I had already told him this back in June when he had called from Phoenix. Since the rest of the summer had passed without another word from him, I had assumed that Quinn had moved on to his next grand scheme, whatever that was. The last I'd heard, he was flipping houses. But now here he was, on my office doorstep, or more precisely, in the chair across the desk from me. He shook the frog umbrella, sending raindrops cascading onto my rug, and hooked it on the chair back. He flashed a familiar grin at me.
"But you're in charge of the time machine, aren't you, Jules?"
"Hardly. I only oversee the roster. Dean Braga reviews all time travel proposals and approves or rejects them at her discretion. And don't call it the time machine," I added. "Its name is STEWie." STEWie was short for STEWie Warper. And I was pretty sure I had mentioned this to him more than once in the months before he had taken off for Arizona with one of our campus security officers. Speaking of which, "How's Officer Jones?" I asked.
"I wouldn't know. She's moved on."
"Sorry. Did you bring the divorce papers? Signed, I hope? You did get them in the mail, didn't you? My lawyer hasn't been able to reach you on the phone."
"I don't have them with me. Never mind that. Let's talk about the Runestone, Jules."
I noticed that he didn't actually say whether he had signed the papers or not. "Not that again. The Runestone is just a hoax."
"I disagree."
"A prank that got out of hand. An example of pioneer-era humor. A bit of fun by Scandinavians proud of their heritage."
"I believe Farfar's story."
"If you're so sure your grandfather was right, what do you need me and STEWie for?"
"To prove it. And film it. It's going to make a fantastic pilot for a reality TV series."